Share my screen. Have you gone through the syllabus of this paper? Advanced web programming?
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm?
Yes, ma'am.
All of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. I'm sure you have seen many things are there, isn't it? In Unit 1, the basic introductions and this and that, okay? A few things are there about the internet. This we'll see that. And then you have lots of scripting languages you have to learn. Okay, so that's why the name is given, because in BCA maybe you have studied, or in BSc you have studied one or two at a time. Okay, in this one is little advanced, and then later on this particular syllabus for this particular subject has been revised again, because yeah, too many things cannot be included in one subject. Okay, because the at the end of the day, it's the understanding. The students should be able to understand and code. Okay, that is more important than learning 10 other things. Okay, so that is the reason we have revised the syllabus for the next batch. From the next year, the new batch is going to study the new syllabus. Okay, so in this one, first you are learning JavaScript. Okay, the scripting language which you have been learning, I think you have studied in your BSc also, your BCA, the scripting language, whenever you're designing a website or a web page. Okay, and then in the second unit you have PHP. Okay, that is another scripting language, or you can say coding language. And then in the third one you have Python. Okay, so these PHP and Python are a very big scripting languages. They are also called scripting language as well as coding language. Okay, so we will try to get into details, and I don't want to confuse you all. Okay, so we will just initially we'll start with the JavaScript, and then we'll move on to PHP and Python. Okay, so if it is too much, you can just let me know. Okay, but I'll make things very simple. We'll just do a little bit of what is it, how to do it, and then we'll do the practice. Okay, and one more thing, since many students are missing, I don't know, I'm not sure when I'll have all these students available online on the same day. So what I want is, you have your sessionals, isn't it? Your lab sessionals. Okay, and your theory sessionals will be theory paper, question and answer. Okay, and definitely you'll have some programming also, because this is program based. And lab also, I'm only taking your lab and theory for this. Okay, so and lab, we will not have like this online classes for the lab. Whenever I take classes, I'll give you set of programs. That programs you need to execute it. Okay, and then you have to send it as you have to submit that as an assignment. So every program you submit, okay, online, whatever, that will be your lab assignment. Theory assignment you will get separately, question and answers. And then you'll have your two sessionals for the theories. Okay, for the lab you'll have one sessional. Okay, and then every lab programs, you might be I will not give it as an assignment. I'll just give you some set of lab programs, and then you have to submit in the Google Classroom. But that programs will carry some marks. Okay, so that particular marks will be included in your internal exams. And those who are missing today, please tell them. And next class also, I'll try to repeat, but then again, the same person who is absent today might be absent again in the next class. So please tell them. Okay, so you might be lazy, and then you might miss, or you might forget to submit the your lab assignments. Try to cover it. Late submission, fine, no issues, but then you have to do it, and then you have to submit. Okay, so that will carry marks. And then at the end, your sessionals, generally your sessionals will be question and answer. Okay, this is the program, write program for this and execute this. Okay, but for me, for since this is web based advanced web programming, what I want you to do is, I'll give you a small case study kind of thing to design the web page. Okay, a very simple with few number of pages, and you might have 2 to 3 number of pages, but whatever we have learned, okay, that should be there, the basic things, and it should be a functional working web page. Not necessary that it has to be on the internet, in your local host, in your laptop, in your desktop. It should be in a working condition. Like suppose if you want to log in, you put your password, and then you give your password, and then user ID password, and then when you press login, you should actually able to log into your web page, and then your web page should have a proper master page with all those requirements, and then you should have dynamic static pages, and then okay, all those things. Got it? So that will be your sessional. So you try not to, like, miss your lab classes. Theory is fine, theory classes is also there, and whatever I teach you, the syllabus is there for your guidance, what you need to study. But this PPT, I'll post it, okay? Along, once the class is over, I'll post it in your Google Classroom. So you will know for the exams what to study. So this will be your guidance. These are the topics you should study, and please refer books. Now see, there are HTML, you have JavaScript, you have PHP, and then you have Python. So many things are there. So all these things you cannot find in a single book. Okay, so these are different books. So you have to refer to different books. And then, since I know that you are more comfortable searching materials online, but I advise you, all the teachers, they always advise you to refer a book. Book has 100 extra things compared to online. Okay, the same thing, one page of a book, whatever is written in a book, suppose you read the whole entire one page, that will be summarized into one paragraph, and it will be uploaded in your web page. Okay, so yeah, you can refer, easy references there online. You have so many open sources these days available, isn't it, the materials to study. But as a teacher, I advise you to refer to the book, any textbook. Okay, and those who are here in Gangtok, we have a library in 6th Mile. You can go to the library, you can borrow books. I think for 20-25 days you'll be allowed to borrow a book, so that facility is available, you can do that. And then if you have BCA, MCA, if you have bought some books, you can also refer to that book. Okay, online materials are always available there, but then it is always good because books will have lots and lots of examples. And web page design, if you know more examples, your doubts will be more clear. Okay, so that is a small advice to you. And now I have told you about the sessionals and tests. When your sessionals comes up, when your assignment comes up, I'll repeat again, no worries. Okay, so these are the table of contents which we'll be seeing in this PPT. Okay, this is basic. We will discuss HTML, hypertext markup language. Okay, have you studied have you studied web programming earlier? Any of the programming scripting language you have studied earlier? Can you tell me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes,
what
ma'am.
you have studied? Yeah, what you have studied? Anything?
Then HTML, JavaScript,
Okay. Oh, JavaScript you have studied. That's good enough. And HTML, yeah. HTML is basic.
ma'am, little bit, ma'am, PHP.
Okay.
PHP,
PHP
ma'am.
with PHP. Okay,
CSS.
good. Huh?
CSS.
Okay, CSS, good. Yeah, then it should be fine. Okay, so I think Python is the only new thing, isn't it? And there isn't much in your syllabus because it's only one unit. There isn't much to study, and don't worry, it's very easy. Okay, the programming language, it is also called scripting and programming language. So I think PHP is not very new to most of the students. So when you design a website later on sessionals, you can use anything. Okay, I prefer you to use Python or PHP. Okay, JavaScript also fine, for scripting language I'm talking about. Okay, JavaScript also fine, but then since you are learning PHP and then Python, new things are there, so it's always good to use that because it'll be easier later on, like when you do your mini project, your major project, it'll be easier for you to work on PHP and Python. Okay, So these are the things we will discuss today in the class. So whenever we work with the web browser, okay, you always know it is always a client server. The architecture is client server architecture. Okay, so client server architecture, how it works: the client side, the one who is running on the website, the working on the website, looking for information, like you all. Okay, you are in Assam, somebody is in South Sikkim, North Sikkim, different parts of Sikkim. Okay, you try to pay your fees online, you try to check Sikkim University website. Okay, is actually interacting, you working, and all your queries are solved. You are able to pay your fees, you're able to see your results, isn't it? So you are the client. Okay, you're using the facility, the web browser. Through the web browser, you are able to access the data of the university, all the relevant data. Okay, so you are the client, but actually where is the server? Okay, the server is at Gantok, Sikkim. Okay, so remotely you are able to log in, and then you are able to see the data. Okay, so whenever you request for something, a page is request. Okay, your HTTP is hypertext transfer protocol. So you have a protocol which will help you to transfer the data to the server. Okay, and then server will process the data. Okay, the server running on the web server software. Okay, so you have various type of web server: IIS, Apache. Okay, so at the web server, your request will be sent. Okay, it will see the request, what you want. Okay, the result, the login ID. So it will check with the database, it will cross check. It happens in fraction of seconds. The client will never know that where you are actually working. Okay, and then your data will be processed. Once the data, so you want to check your semester result, and then the server will respond. So based on your registration ID or your roll number or whatever unique ID you have given, based on that, the data will be sent to the client, and then on the web browser, you'll be able to see the output. Okay, your request, whatever you have request. So that is how it works. That is your client and server architecture. It follows a simple client server architecture. And I'm sure, like, the current generation, when we studied all these things, it was little bit difficult to understand, because internet was not so, like, only in the few places we used to get to access the browser. We didn't have like, smartphones which was easily available. The internet used to be. Nowadays internet is everywhere, isn't it? So I'm sure it'll be very easy for you to understand what I'm trying to say. Okay, even for example, Facebook, you have Instagram, isn't it? Everyone has that account. Okay, so what you're trying to, you create a Facebook account, you do it from your browser, your laptop, you do it from your smartphone, but you just have an app in your phone, isn't it? That is for you to access. Okay, that is like, we call it a GUI, graphical user interface. Okay, so you want to use it. Okay, but actually where your data is being sent? Okay, some server, it is located somewhere in US, or it can be India, or anywhere. We don't know where the server is located. Okay, the server of the Facebook, but instantly you get your details, isn't it? As soon as you log in, your profile page is there. When you try to upload your pictures, okay, within, based on your internet speed of the internet, within seconds your pictures are uploaded, your videos are uploaded. But actually where it is happening, it is not happening in your phone, isn't it? All those photos are not stored in your phone memory data. It is stored somewhere, your videos. Okay, if you delete your photos and videos from the album of your phone, but still it is there in the Facebook. Okay, so that means the app is not, the Facebook app is not using the storage memory of your phone. It is using somewhere cloud memory. Okay, it is using somewhere in the server. It is being sent, your account is created, and whatever you post, right from a single text, okay, whatever you post, everything will be stored in that server. You will have a separate database for that, separate table for that. Everything will be, and you can access anytime. You log into your page, you go to your profile page, and you see what you have uploaded. Okay, past 10 years, all the data will be available, but it is not in your phone, isn't it? So that's why many people, just for the memory, okay, they are into, they use the Facebook, because in a phone, once your phone, like, it is not in a working condition, and you forget your login ID, okay, email ID, your password, then you won't be able to access the data available in your phone. Okay, so that is the reason. So that works, even that works as a client server architecture. The architecture is same. Okay, So see, this is important to you to understand, okay? Because the reason why I'm saying this is when you design, when you develop a website, you'll be working on your local host, okay? So local host, you have to create client server architecture, okay? So for that reason, you should be able to understand this. You might say, my ma'am, every all the data, generally this is the basic question the student they have, okay? Everything is in my thing laptop. I have my pictures here, I have my videos here, I'm running, but from the other system I'm not, because it is not in the internet. You have the domain is not, you have to register, you have to select your web server, okay? You have to host it in the internet, then only it will be available worldwide, www dot. Okay, it will be available. But right now, when you design it, it'll be in a local host. You have to create, okay, a client and a server in your system. Okay. So what is a web page? The web pages are text files containing HTML. The full form of HTML is hypertext markup language. Okay, and then a notation for describing document structure, semantic markup, and formatting presentation. Okay, whenever you design a web page, it's all about formatting. Okay, you are formatting the text, you're formatting your data, and data can be images, data can be videos, data can be text. Okay, there can be any different types of data in your web page. And web page, when you design a web page, it's all about presentation, the looks, it should be catchy. Okay, and then when you design a web page, you have to uh, look into the, you have to be very careful for what type of client you are designing a web page. Okay, so see, right now you are students, so you are learning how to design a web page. Okay, so when I say client, I'm talking about the company. Okay, once you learn this, later on you'll become a programmer. Okay, web page designer, programmer, developer. Okay, so when you do it, you will not design a website for yourself, isn't it? You'll be working for somebody else. Okay, so you have a client, they'll come, so we are opening a hotel, or we are starting up a school. Okay, so you have different clients, one for the school, one for the hotel, and one is like, suppose there is some conference, a very big conference coming up. Okay, it's a very huge, all big companies have invested their money for the conference, and then it's happening in a big city with, like, 100 participants, and you need a web page for that, to, like, accept the papers, and then for transaction. So you will have different kinds of clients. Okay, now for hotel, your requirement is totally different. Okay, it should be very catchy, flashy, the customers, because it's totally for the business perspective. Okay, so you should know what a customer wants. Now second is your school. You're designing a website for a school, which should be very formal. Okay, with lots and lots of information at the very first page, because the parents, they look for the information, like, the past 10 years result of the school, 10's result, 12's result, the achievements of the school, the admission process, the fees, like, so many things a parent would want to know about the school. Like, one, if somebody, if they are interested to get admission in that particular school, so again the requirement is different. Okay, and the third one is, it's a conference which is a very short duration. Their website will be available for maybe for few months only. Okay, and then, and when you do for a conference, it should not be flashy. Okay, it should be the information, where it is located, how to do the payment, and where to submit the paper. Okay, and who are the sponsors, and the in which particular journal the paper is being published. Those are important. So you have totally different requirements. So I'm just giving you this three simple example. Okay, where, the requirement is totally different. So that is why document structure, formatting is very important when you come to a web page design. Coding is there, definitely the coding, and then, like, data, we say validation, those things are there. But then generally website is for to have more number of people, you want to have more number of viewers. Okay, so these are the things you have to consider. Okay, and you have to always have that back in your mind. It's not that since you are the developer, okay, generally that happens for the startup, like, for the, like, for students who have newly joined the company. They say, no, 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 this is not good. You tend to use your own experience, because you say, no, if I do this, then the client will not like this. You don't know the clients, okay? So you have to know the requirements of the client who wants the website. You should give your information. Definitely you can say, if you do this, then this things might happen. And to avoid these problems, you can take up this one, so that this will not happen. So definitely you give in your input, but your input should not be more, like, more 80% of your input and 20% from the client side. Then what happens is the client will not be interested. Okay, so a web page developer, designer should read the mind of a client. That is very, very important. What they want, you should be able to deliver to them. Okay, so that's why the page content, the structure, formatting is very, very important when you are developing a web page. Okay, so we'll start with the HTML. Okay, how to create a HTML page. See, nowadays everything is this HTML code, is everything is available, isn't it? You have so many with this editors. Notepad, when we learned HTML, we did in Notepad, we had nothing. Okay, then later on this Dreamweaver came. Nowadays you have Notepad plus plus, PSPad, and many etc etc, many things are there. Okay, and then for HTML, you have Microsoft front page. See, Dreamweaver, yeah, for us Dreamweaver was not freely available. The university had to purchase the software. Okay, so we prefer typing right from the tags. HTML, everything we used to type. Okay, but now things are easier. But then, since you don't have to type the coding, but you should know, it is by default the codes are HTML codes are generated, isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Same.
So I hope I hope you're understanding what I'm trying to say, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
You literally do not have to type HTML codes. Okay, there are n numbers of editors available, but then when the code is generated, you should be able to understand what that line of code is. Okay, so that is the reason you have to study HTML right from the beginning. And then in today's in this particular lab, I'll advise you to type, right, I mean. Okay, so when you do execute your program, try to type, like, after HTML, what comes? Head, then you have body. Okay, then within the head you have title. You should know the sequence. Okay, later on, because once you know the sequence by heart, okay, so if any error occurs, you'll be able to debug it within few seconds. But if you don't know the basic structure of HTML, then you will be beating around the bush. You'll go to the web page, and then you'll go to the Google and try to write the error in the Google, what this error means. You're wasting so much of time, because designing a website is little bit tedious job. Okay, coding is definitely there, but designing takes a little longer time. Okay, you have to be very creative, and trial and error keeps happening. Okay, so you should save time. It's more of time consuming. Okay, but it's not difficult, so you should be able to save time. So that is the reason I'm saying, learn your HTML properly, so that you'll be able to debug your errors. Okay, rectify your errors easily. So these are the editors available. Okay, you can use any one editor, whichever you have in your, whatever is available in your laptop. Okay, you can use them. That is fine, absolutely fine. But when you are doing your basic programming, okay, learning, see, as and when the slides comes up, the HTML programs will come up, so you have to execute all those. Okay, so try to type them. Okay, so we'll go to the basics. So HTML is comprised of elements and tags. Okay, begins with HTML and ends with open front slash HTML. Okay, so the element tags are nested on inside another. So you have the first tag is, you have HTML tag, and then inside the HTML you have head. Okay, head and then closing head. So within open head and close head tags, excuse me, there you have to write your whatever headings you want to give to your web page. There you write, excuse me. Next is your body, the actual content. Okay, the actual content of your web page will be within the body. So these three are the most important tags which should be there, mandatory tags. Okay, then rest comes the other tags. If you want to give a title to your page, you can give within the head tags. Okay, and then next is your within the tags you have attributes. Okay, tags have attributes. So one simple example of attribute is SRC. IMG is a tag for image. Okay, if you want to include image in your page, then you have to use IMG tag. Okay, so IMG tag, you call IMG tag, and then now where is your picture or your image stored? Okay, so in this case, see, SRC equals to, SRC is your source. Okay, so SRC is the attribute. An attribute always has a value, so that is why the name attributes is given. Okay, if you have studied database, have you studied database in your earlier semester? Anyone, have you studied database in MCA?
This semester we have.
Yes, ma'am, this semester.
This semester you're having. So what do you mean by attribute in your database?
Values and values.
Values. Column name, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, because column name has values, isn't it? So you see, this attribute, this particular term you will be using in database also. So you should be able to relate this attribute in HTML and the same attribute in your database. Okay, you should be able to find the common between this because the meaning will be same. Okay, so in this case also, SRC is an attribute which will always have a value. If you don't give value, then there can be an error. Okay, error is a picture will not be displayed. Okay, now, see, the path is not given here, straight away logo.jpg. The file name is given there. Why the path is not given is, I'm assuming, okay, wherever you are creating a web page, okay, suppose say in D drive you have a folder, okay, say sample or something. In that very folder you have this image, okay, and that in very folder you have this web page stored. Getting me? Okay, so then a path is not required because in that particular folder, in the D drive, suppose you have a sample folder, you have created a sample folder, and inside the sample folder you have this web page, you are designing a web page. Okay, my first page .html. Okay, your first page. Okay, so that particular page you have stored there, and then this image logo.jpg is also stored in the same folder. Then the link is not required, the path is not required, but this image is stored in E drive. Okay, and you're working in D drive, then the path is required. Got it? Okay, so please be careful. You might say later on, ma'am, my image, everything is correct, no syntax error, nothing, but still I'm not able to display the image. Okay, then you have to see the path. That means your path is not correct. Okay, and ALT means an alternate name given to it. Okay, so this is the file name. Okay, the file name. Suppose you want to use the same image somewhere else in your program, so what you can do is you can name this. You give a name to this image, so the name given to this image is logo. Got it? Okay, so this is the name given to it. Okay, so as and when you work with this, you will know what it means. Okay, and then HTML describes structure using two main sections, that is your head and body. So first HTML is the starting tag, then next comes the head and next comes the body. So these are the mandatory tags you have to use. Okay, Yeah, the HTML source code should be formatted to increase readability and facilitate debugging. Okay, so these are the things, as I said. Every block element should start on a new line, because see, HTML, you have, once you design a page, I'm sure you know the number of lines you'll have, isn't it? Sometimes it goes on to 50 to 100 lines, even for a simple page. Okay, the single page. So that is the reason you should be able to read each line. Okay, so always a new line, a new tag, or a new block, always start with a new line and give some spacing. If it is a tag inside another tag is inside another tag, just give a spacing. Okay, don't write in a straight line, you won't be able to understand. Okay, so every nested block element should be indented meaning that you give on the left hand side, you give some space. Okay, and then you give inside. I hope you're understanding what I'm saying. Okay, so browsers ignore multiple white spaces in the page source. So formatting is harmless. Okay, so you can format as much as you want, because when you run that program, when you run that HTML code, the spaces you give, the n number of multiple with spaces which you give will not affect the coding, whereas same is not it's not applicable for programming languages, isn't it? More number of spacing, then it will give error. Okay, whereas in HTML you need not worry about that. Okay, so that you have to, so that is the reason you can give n number of spacing. Okay, so this is the example, simple example. Okay, test.html is your file name, HTML file, and you have to run this in a browser. Okay, you know browser, you have Google Chrome, you have Firefox, you have, okay, n number of browsers. So any browser you can work, yeah, you can run your HTML program. So it starts with the, see this doc type. Okay, you are telling the browser that it is a document type HTML. Okay, so this is the first line, and then you start with your HTML tag, head tag. See, this is the indent mean. You have HTML tag starting. Inside the HTML tag, you have a head tag. So you give little bit of space, one space, okay, two spacing, two spacing, then head. Inside the head, you have a title bar. Okay, so this is another, title is not mandatory. That's why it was not given in the previous one, but it's always good practice to give title, because see, my first HTML page. Can you see this? My first HTML page. So in this particular title bar, it will tell you what this page is all about. Home page, my page, this page, you can just give a name. So it is always good practice to give a title bar. Okay, so that will always come within the head tag. It will not come in the body tag. Okay, so you open a title tag and then close it. Then you have your head. So close, open head, close head. Okay, then you have a body, the main section, the body part. So you have a P means paragraph. See, all this comes under HTML. Okay, see the indented, two spacing is given there. So now within body you have another tag for the paragraph. So more indent, more spacing, white space is given there. So this is some text. Whatever you write here will be displayed in the body, the white page. Okay, the main white page of your browser will be the body section. So this is the simple structure of your HTML. So this structure I was talking about, you should know. If you are doing in any of the editor, you need not type all these things, it will be generated by itself. But if you want to do some editing here, then you should know which tag to go and where to do the corrections. Okay, so that is the reason why I'm saying you should know it. So when you do the practice, I want you all to type all these things, okay, for practice. So this is the example. Okay, an HTML element consists of an opening tag and a closing tag, and then the content is inside. So this is the opening tag, this is the closing tag. Okay, this is the HTML, this is called HTML header. Okay, this is your HTML body part. So I'm sure all these things you already know. So these are the some some other simple tags which are available, and mostly frequently you'll be using in your web page. Okay, so hyperlink tags. A is for the hyperlink tag. Do you know what is hyperlink tag? Hyperlink? Can you tell me?
Yes, ma'am.
Mm.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
What it does, hyperlink?
Ma'am, takes to another page. Link.
Yeah, it links to another page. Okay,
Page.
and yeah, a text can be a hyperlink, an image can be a hyperlink, isn't it? So A is the tag used for it, and what is the attribute? href. Okay, hyperlink reference. So where you are referring to, that means when you click on that particular thing, where it should go. Okay, it will go to this particular page. Got it? So what is the text? Title equals to, this is the title, and the link to this one is the content. Okay, so when you click on this, okay, this will be displayed. Okay, sorry, this will be, when you click on this, this will be created as a hyperlink, and this will take you to this particular web page. Okay, so this is for the link. Similarly, even for the image you can create. Okay, even an image can be created as a hyperlink. I think in the most of the web page you have seen, isn't in the, even in the phones app, when you want to buy online, okay, you see a dress, then you click on that dress, isn't it? Then you will be directed to another page. Okay, the larger view of that image will be available, or the details of that product details, what is it, the size, everything will be available. Okay, so that image is created as a hyperlink. Similarly, you have image tag, we have seen earlier, img, and then this is your attribute src. So see, the attributes are a little different. Okay, for a, href, okay, for img, src, and then text formatting tags, n number of formatting tags are available. We will see everything in detail. So this text is em for emphasized. Okay, in the emphasized, your br for new line break. This one is a strong, more emphasized. So when you give this, what happens? Okay, output, we will see you have a strong to make it bold, and you have a b to make it bold as well. Okay, so these are some of the tags available which are used in your sample program. Simple tags here, this one. Okay, so when you run this program, so this is how it's going to look. Okay, so when you run the program, this is a link, this is a link, this is created as a hyperlink. Okay, so it will, where it will go, it will go to this particular web page, and it will open. Okay, so this is the logo, see, src emg, you have included a picture in this, and then you have this bold, strong, okay, emphasize. In emphasize, what happens? Bold is for bold, bold. Strong is also used for bold, and emphasize means it will be in italic. Okay, so these are the examples. Formatting of a text, simple examples. Okay, tags can have attributes. Okay, so what do you mean by attributes? A simple explanation is given. Attributes specify properties and behavior. Okay, as I said, you can include, and then few attributes can apply to every element. So these are the attributes. So these are the common attributes which can be used to any of the elements, even for img, even for hyperlink, id, style, class, title. Okay, you can use these attributes in those things. Okay, so id is a unique in the document. See, when you want to use that, suppose this logo, okay, when you want to use this logo in multiple times, okay, so you can give a name to it, okay, a unique name, or you can also give an id to it. Okay, styling, yeah, what style you want to use, if you want to create some class for it, or if you want to give a title to it. Okay, all these are available, all these attributes are available. Okay, and the content of title attribute is displayed as hint when the element is hovered over the mouse. So hovered means, like, see, I'm moving this mouse over the text, isn't it? I hope this is, you all can see this. So when I'm moving this mouse, I'm trying to keep it here, I can't see anything, nothing is there. Okay, so title, if we give a title to this particular tag, so tags attribute, okay, if we give a title to it, so when I click on this, a small text will be displayed, what it means. Okay, so that this is what it means. Content of title attribute is displayed as hint when the element is hovered with the mouse. Like suppose say this image, there is one image and then it's just an image. So if I put my mouse there on the image, it might say, you might give a message there saying that click on it. So what you're doing, you're trying to guide, okay? You're guiding your viewer what to do in the web page. So when I move, click on it. So I will click on it and then we will move on. So some people might not know that that particular image is a hyperlink, okay? So this kind of small hint you can give, giving the name title, okay? Attribute all with value, okay? So these are the headings. Next is headings and paragraph. These are not new things. I'm sure most of you all know this. Headings, you want to this heading, then you have H1, H2, H3. So you have the size. H1 heading 1 is bigger size, smaller size, and thus also you can do one is you can use heading, and the next is you can also use the CSS file. Okay, you can give a, excuse me, a size to it. Okay, so wherever you use wherever you use those CSS files, by default the standard size will be maintained. Okay, so the heading size will be bigger, the subheading will be a little small, and then by default this will be bold. Okay, so you also have paragraph where you can include your text in a single line or multiple lines, and you have division and span. Okay, you have div div to divide your paragraph. Okay, background blue, and then you have another as a span also. So we will see. So these are the examples. Okay, heading, subheadings with paragraph with div. So what will be the output? Okay, see heading bold, bigger size, sub h2 subheading bold, little smaller size, and this thing. So when you're writing a web, or suppose say you're writing a chapter, okay, you're creating a content in your web page. Okay, so your chapter 1, you can use h1. Then again later on in the second one, what you want to be the content, like name of the chapter, say the introduction. Okay, so the introduction can be your h2, and then content of that can be your h3 or subheadings. Okay, so this is where you can use all this tags. Okay, for headings, and these are the paragraph. Okay, documents and structure. Okay, should I continue or you want a break? What time is it? Are you all there?
Yes, ma'am.
Should I continue or you want break? We have finished with few topics.
Ma'am, continue.
Ma'am, continue.
Continue. Okay, we'll do one thing. I'll try to cover up HTML. Okay, then we can move on to the next class. We can start with JavaScript. Okay, so these all are very simple things. You don't need much of explanation for this. Okay, now we saw what HTML contains, isn't it? What are the basic things you should have in your HTML page? Now we will move on to, see, this is the basic things you should know. Now how to give structure to this? Okay, web page, you have to give a structure, means some data should be on the right hand side, some data should be on the left hand side, some data should be on the footer, and some data should be as a header. Okay, so that is the designing. Now you should also know how to give structure to it. You cannot just give in your information like this. Okay, this is just an example. So structuring is important. Okay, it is important to have the correct vision and attitude towards HTML. Okay, HTML is only about, not only about structure, not appearance, browser tolerant, invalid. Okay, so these things are not required. So as I said, first you should have a doc type declaration saying that you're to the browser that this particular page is a document type page. Okay, so that is the required. And there's a little bit of XML versus extendable. This is extendable HTML. XML is more stricter than HTML. See, you have every time, whenever new thing, HTML is the initial one. Okay, now there are few flaws with HTML, so there is an improvement. So improvement, next version which came was extendable XHTML, allows only, so see what are the different things in HTML and XML. Okay, tags and attribute names be in lowercase. Okay, all tags must be closed. This is a while HTML allows BR and IMG and implies missing closing tags also. This is allowed. Okay, whereas in HTML not allowed. Okay, HTML allows only one root, that is HTML element, and HTML allows more than one. In HTML you can have more HTML tags. Okay, whereas that is not allowed in. So few differences. Okay, the version. So many elements attributes are depreciated in HTML. Most are moved to CSS. Okay, we'll also see what is CSS. So an attribute minimization is forbidden. Example, see this one. This is not allowed. Okay, and whereas in web browsers load HTML faster than HTML. So because the reason itself says because most of the elements attributes are removed and it has been moved to CSS. Why CSS? Cascading style sheet. Why it is used is because in HTML you will have too many text. Okay, everything will be in HTML, and when you use CSS you will be dividing your page. Okay, division of the page means execution of the, like say in functions in programming. Okay, the concept is, the basic concept is remains same in programming language and scripting language. Okay, in web page designing, when you have too many things in one page, the loading time increases, isn't it? So that is how the function came into. So what happens in function, like so suppose you are designing a calculator, you're writing a program to design a calculator. Okay, so initially what happens in when you are a beginner, what you do, addition, subtraction, multiplication, all the arithmetic operation, whatever is available in calculation, you write in a simple program. Okay, in a sequential, simple, the whole page, around say 100 to 200 lines of codes are there. But function, what it does, you have a function for addition separate, you have a function for subtraction, multiplication, division, and modulo, whatever. Okay, whatever available, all the operators, you have a separate functions. And in your main program, what you do, you call the functions wherever required. And calling functions means your execution time is divided. Okay, so there your execution will be faster than the traditional, the program which you have written in your sequential manner. Okay, so in this case also it's same thing. In the extendable HTML, everything is divided. Okay, the codes are less in numbers, so execution will be faster, whereas in the older version of HTML, the more codes are used. Okay, so that's why the execution time. But then see, for us, you are a programmer, we are the developer, we will not know the difference because we just do a sample program, and then very small short programs we execute, and our web page is very small. Okay, that will not take much time. Our speed depends on the internet. Okay, but whereas some of the web pages, okay, where lots and lots of informations are loaded, so there it will make a difference. Okay, so this is for the long term, the differences. Okay, so contains information that does not show directly on the viewable page. Okay, start with this, begins with head, title. Okay, so meta script. So these are the few things. Okay, so in the head section, okay, these are the head section used to specify a title window, title bar, search engines, and rely on the title. In the head sections, what are the things you should include? Okay, so these are the things about the name of the, suppose you're designing a website for a school, it should be visible, the school name should be visible. Okay, in the title bar. And meta tag additionally describes the content within the page. Okay, so these are the tags within a page. So that's why the term meta, do you know the term meta? Data within the data. Okay, the general meaning of this. So you'll have lots of tags to be used inside a tag. Okay, so you use a meta tag, and then lots of attributes are used in this particular, you can be, I mean, you are allowed to use. Okay, it will not give a problem. So in the head section you have scripting elements. So scripting elements, always remember, generally the declaration will be in the head tags. Okay, You will also have scripting language in your body tag, but generally it is included in your head tag. Okay, are executed in the client's web browser. Scripts can live in the head and in the body section, but mostly you will see in the head tags. Okay, and later on you will also see that scripting language can also be written in a separate page and not included in your HTML page. Again, just to reduce the execution time. So you have the supported client-side scripting languages. These are the easily available: JavaScript, VBScript, JS script. Okay, so these are mostly used scripting languages. And then you can also include, say, you might think that, okay, I'm working on JavaScript, so I may not be able to use PHP. No, that is allowed. Okay, it's just that in which environment you are developing, that is important. Okay, in which environment you are developing, that supports different type of scripting language, so you can use them. Okay, so this is the basic simple example of scripting language. Head, JavaScript example, script type is text. Okay, so you have to specify what type of scripting language you are using. Okay, JavaScript, and then functions. Okay, in JavaScript you can use functions. Okay, we will see that also. See, so this is the function, user defined function. You are creating it with the content document.write. What you want to display, this is the format document.write, and then within double quotes whatever you want to display should be, the text should be, the string should be included. Okay, so close your scripts, close your head, and then the body section you are calling the function. So there you are declaring, okay, you're describing what the function should be, what the content should be, and then you're coming to the body section. Okay, then you are calling the function, and then the program is being executed, and this is the output. Okay, so this is a simple scripting language. Next is your style tag. Okay, how you can use a style in your head section. Okay, so you have HTML head style. Okay, type is text, CSS. This is, you need to specify this again. Okay, so now paragraph P, you're specifying whenever you use this P paragraph, what should be the styling. So this will be maintained throughout your web page. Okay, wherever you use P, by default this particular formatting will be considered. So your font size will be 12 point, line height 12 point, and then again you have first letter, font size 200 size. Okay, so always whenever you use the paragraph, the first letter of this will be, a percentage is given. Okay, so it will be 200% bigger than the regular size. And then span, text transform uppercase. Okay, so whenever you use the span, okay, you have div span for the paragraph, you're dividing a paragraph. Okay, so wherever you use the span, the text will be transferred into uppercase. Okay, now see, so this you have declared style in the head section. Now in the body section you'll be using all this style. So P styles demo. Okay, span, test, uppercase. So see the output. These are the text which is displayed. S is the first letter because in the paragraph it says first letter should be 200%. So percentage means this. The size of this T, and then size of this S is 200%. 200% is bigger than the regular size. And span, since you have given it in the uppercase, so this particular paragraph, okay, test uppercase, this particular paragraph will be converted into uppercase. So these are the styling you want to do in your page. And then later on in the page, if you want to do, you are using the paragraph should always, in a paragraph, your first letter should always start with this size of letter. Then you can use the P, and then the uniformity will be maintained in your web page. And if you want to use uppercase, then you can just call span anywhere. Okay, then again the uppercase will be there. So this is for the, to maintain the uniformity in your web page, so your style sheet is used. Okay, so this is the inbuilt, you are using CSS style, but it is within the HTML. Now again, this can be also outsourced. You can write this in some other page and then call that in your HTML. That is also allowed. We will see that later. Okay, this is including everything in your HTML page. Okay, all the editing, and then these are the comments. Okay, you want to use a comment, single line, double line. Okay, all these are there. Now next come the body section. What should be in the body section? Okay, the title, page, you have seen. This is how you include all the tags. Everything will be included in your body section. Okay, so these are the text formatting tags available, can be used in your body section. Okay, to format the text. So these are the italics. I also can be used, and emphasize, em also can be used. Okay, strong, either this or for be bold. Okay, so these are the various available. Superscript, subscript. Okay, so this means superscript means power to, sup, and then you have to write the base sometimes. Okay, the base subscript, so it is subscript. So pre-formatted text, if you want to display pre-formatted text, and this we have to use pre. Okay, so these are the available. So this is the example where all those things are used. Okay, so when you use this is the output. Okay, see, so today we'll be doing only HTML. So what I want to do is, whatever the examples, right from the I think third slides, you have some example sample programs. Please execute everything. The program is here in your slide. Okay, I'll upload this slide in the Google Classroom. You have to execute this, and I'll create assignment there, and then you submit it there. Okay, I'll give you some time. You can submit it there, so that you will be in touch every day. What is being taught, what is being discussed, that will be, you will be in touch, and then you will submit on time. Okay, so these are the examples which you need to submit. Then next will be the sample programs I'll give you, that you have to again do it on your own and submit. So this examples also you have to do it, whatever is there in it. It's a very easy. From the slide you have to see what are the things, type it and execute it. Okay, you're not doing anything on your own. Only for practice I want you all to do this. Okay, hyperlinks, this is how hyperlinks are created. Okay, we will not go into all these details, you already know. Okay, document, how to create a document, pages. Okay, link to another location, and then they say in chapter, this one, like, you know, in the same page, like all these things are there in Wikipedia. The example of this, section 1, section 2, this example in the same document also you can use a hyperlink. Hyperlink doesn't mean that you should always refer to the next page. Okay, in the same document also you can create a hyperlink. Like for in Wikipedia, suppose you are trying to look information of something. Okay, so at the starting of the page you'll have chapter 1, or like, you know, content, introduction, in details and sub details. Okay, so whenever you click into introduction, the page will go down, it will just go to your introduction paragraph. If you go to the examples, if you click the examples, it will go to the last page, same page, last, down there. Okay, you don't have to scroll up and down. So the examples part, it will be there. So within the same page a hyperlink is created. Okay, so this is the example of that. All these links are there with the example. Okay, this is how the examples are given there. All this program you need to do. Okay, so this is what I was talking about, table of contents, introduction. When you click on this introduction, it will go to this part. When you click on some background, it will go to this part. When you click on history of the project, it will go to the, and you can scroll up and down. Okay, this is for the very large page. When you have lots of data in a single page, okay, you have to keep scrolling up and down. So for the convenience of the reader, you can create hyperlinked within a page. Okay, so this is what it means. So these are the attributes which can be used in image. Okay, to change the size, height, and then you give a name. CALT, substitute text for display. Okay, so these are the other texts available. If you want to put it in the center, font, HR, okay, to draw a horizontal line. So these are the other tags which is used. Okay, so these tags can be used, and see the outputs. And then you also have ordered list, OL and UL, OL, LI. Okay, OL means ordered type, what type of type, numbering 1, and LI, L2 means list. So apple, orange, number, apple, orange, grape, it will go on. Okay, then you have attributes type 1, capital A, small a, I. Okay, Roman Catholic, or I, small I. So these are the various examples. Okay, for the listing. Okay, and then if it is unlisted, you don't want numbering, just see disk, circle, square. Okay, remember in your Microsoft Office, Word, you have all these things, so you can also create in HTML. Okay, so these are the examples for the list. Okay, DL, DT, creating a creating a definition list using DL. Okay, so we will end till here. Okay, ordered and unordered list, because I think too many things is also you will lose interest. I'm sure half of you are not even listening to what I'm saying. Okay, so we will end here for today. Got it? So what I want, slides 49. Okay, we are till slides 49 till listing, ordered and unordered list. So for today's class, what I want you to do it, all these examples, okay, simple text. I want you to do it, excuse me, execute it, okay, and then submit. I'll create an assignment. You can submit it there. So your example begins from slide 10. Okay, from slide 10 to slide 49, whatever examples are available, you please execute them and submit. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we will continue in the next class, because too many things is not good to include too many things. So we will move on to the, now we will move on to the structuring, okay, dividing our web page, then comes the JavaScript. So in another 2 classes, most probably, I'll complete this slide, okay, till JavaScript. And this is very, and don't think that, you know, you are learning JavaScript, this, Python, PHP, it's going to be very, I'll make it very simple, okay? But you should attend your classes and then be regular submitting your assignments. Please try to know what is being discussed in the class, even if you sometimes, like, you know, my, in this area a little bit I have issues with the internet. Once the internet is there, it is good. Okay, I can do video calls, I can do many things, but then, you know, it is on and off. Sometimes morning the net is not there, sometimes evening the net is not there, because then, you know, the location is like that only. But once the net is there, the service is good. So I might not take class every day at 11, sometimes it might be 2 o'clock. Okay, and some students might be traveling or somewhere in the hospital or somewhere, like, you know, you are not able to attend the class, but still try to listen. Okay, wherever location you are, okay, use your headphones, or try to listen to this, and then the slides will be available. I'll send all the slides, I'll upload all the slides, and then when the assignment is given, try to submit. So when you submit the assignment, what happens is you'll keep track what's happening in the class. Okay, so that'll be easier for you. Okay, fine. And then similarly for the new topics also, I'll make things very simple, very simple. We'll do examples of very simple things so that understanding is there. Okay, yeah, responsive website means a dynamic page. Okay, see, in a web page you have 2 type of pages in a website. One is static page and one is dynamic page. This is the basic things. Like initially I said, static page is only loaded with information. Okay, like suppose say Wikipedia. Okay, example, Wikipedia, you want to know something, like suppose say you want to know about Python. Okay, what is this programming language, or whatever the scripting language. So all the information, right, from chapter 1, chapter 2, the functions, everything will be there. Okay, but only the information. Got it? So that is your static page. The user cannot interact with that particular page. Okay, now dynamic pages, your Facebook example. You log in, isn't it? You give your password and your, user ID and your password. You press login button. The data is being sent to the server. Okay, if it is wrong, wrong password. If it is correct password, you log into your page, profile page, or whatever your home page, and then you upload your pictures. Within seconds, fraction of seconds, your image is being uploaded. Your friends will like it, your friends will comment it, isn't it? So what happened? You are interacting, your friends are interacting with you, right? That is your dynamic page. Got it? So there are two pages, one is static page and one is dynamic page. Okay, so web page, I gave an example of Facebook, you are interacting with the server. Okay, so later on when you design a web page for your sessionals, okay, when you design a web page, what happens is you need not do it in the internet, you can do it in your system localhost. In your database, you create a database, you do it, you should be able to interact yourself. Got it? It need not be in the internet. Like suppose I from Gantalk, if I want to log into your web page, and then that is totally internet. You have to host it. You have to in any of the server, you have to host your website. Okay, so that is become a little bit. But when you do your major project, then it is required. If you're doing in a web-based application, you're designing a web page or you're developing a software, then it is based on internet. Okay, then it will be required. Got it? Got the difference between interactive page and static page? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, interactive page means a dynamic page. Fine. Okay, then we'll meet next time. Okay, I might not take classes every day. Okay, I'll be taking 2 to 3 classes in a week, and then your lab timetable is given to you, but not necessary since it is online. So at your convenience, at my convenience, we can have a classes, and then for the lab classes, as I said, this is since it is a lab based, so while teaching theory, the programs will be covered. Okay, how to do it, I'll give you the sample examples. Like for today's class, you have lots of sample examples, so based on that, once you do the sample programs, then you'll get hang of it, and then you'll be able to do the lab programs as well. And if required, we'll also have online classes for the lab also. Okay, and later on, when you're learning new things, you're facing difficulties, then we'll have that time. Okay, fine. Okay, then thank you so much. Okay, bye.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.